Hi, everyone. This is Aryanna Prasad from FanSided, and I'm here today with iconic sportscaster Erin Andrews. Erin is teaming up with Crown Royal to celebrate women in sports by gifting 56 influential women in the industry Crown Royal aged 18 years. So, Erin, from CoverGirl to your clothing line, you've done so.
Whoa.
Oh.
Oh, that's great. I was just like iconic cover girl. Like, yes. Girl, you
Yeah.
can be my what do they call it? Pump up? Like my hype, you could be my hype man any day. I'm into
I'm
this.
here for it. I love it. Love it. Okay. I'll get creative with it.
Great.
From CoverGirl to your clothing line, you've done so many campaigns to uplift women in sports. What is unique about this partnership with Crown Royal?
I think what's cool about it is we are recognizing and gifting and sending love and a big thank you to 56 of the most influential women in sports. And I actually, to commemorate Super Bowl 56, and I actually got together with Crown Royal and they gave us their ideas and I gave them my ideas. And it was kind of cool to just sit there and look at women that I follow on Instagram, look at women I love watching, report on sports, look at women I love to look up to in the sports world. And we just threw this list together and we said, great. And we're going to gift you, like you mentioned, Crown Royal's newest whiskey blend. That's their Crown Royal 18-year-old, and super exciting. Also exciting, they're going to donate $1,000 in the name of each of those 56 recipients to WISE. And the whole thing behind it is to support empowering women in sports and in business. That's something obviously that means a lot to me too.
Yeah, of course. And so I'm glad that you described the process of, just selecting all of these women. And I imagine it was very difficult. But if you had to describe all the women with one trait, what would that be?
One word is really hard. I would say one word I would like to use is grace. The other is powerful. I realize you said one, but I'm playing by my rules now. Powerful, graceful, classy, presence. I think they all have that in common.
Yeah. And so when can we find out this list of 56 women?
Oh, gosh. I don't know if we're making it public. That's a question for Crown Royal. Maybe if they've had enough Crown Royal 18-year-old, they'll give you the list.
Okay, well, I hopefully get to know who some of those women are, but they know who they are. They know they're queens of the industry. And speaking of queens in this industry, I want to shout out your podcast, Calm Down with Charissa Thompson. I am a huge fan.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and so just it gives us so many behind the scenes looks like into the industry, and it's just great to see two female broadcasters talking about things from their perspective. So why is it important when women in this industry share their experiences?
Well, I don't even know if it's just important. I think the one thing about it is like it just gave us a place to kind of just say, hey, this is an area we feel safe in. We can talk about fun stories from the road. I mean, there's so many times, when I do this, you go to a game, I'm like, God, people should know like how crazy this is half the time or what really goes on. Like us trying to grab a flight at 6 a.m. after we didn't get back to our hotel room until 2 because we were working a late game or coming in from somewhere. There's just so many great stories behind the scenes that you don't get to see and hear. So we just wanted to kind of put it together for a podcast and see if anybody was interested.
Well, I think you have a huge fan base. And I was actually watching you like get ready. I think it was like a reel you were doing and everything. So that behind the scenes look. And I think that the podcast does a great job of that.
Oh, was that our live on Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the photographer here with me now that always does it for me in every game. She's really good at a contour as well. Yeah.
So one big topic in the NFL, when we talk about diversity of voices, Brian Flores just issued a lawsuit against the NFL and is just bringing to light like an issue that has been persistent of a diversity of leadership. So from your perspective, why is it so important to have diversity in leadership in the league?
Oh, I think it's important to have diversity anywhere and with anything that we do in our lives. And I'm glad that the league has come out and they said they recognize there needs to be a change and let's go.
Yeah, ready for it.
Yeah.
So, but it is Super Bowl week, and I wanted to know, there are a lot of great stories, I think, in this Super Bowl. And so I wanted to ask you, what are some of the most compelling storylines to come out of the Super Bowl this year?
Well, I think, the one from Cincinnati's side of it is that the stage doesn't seem too big for them. I mean, I'm sure they don't want to be down in a lot of these games, but they have been able to handle adversity really, really well. And it doesn't matter how much they're down by, they come back. It doesn't matter where they are, who they are facing. They have a lot of faith in themselves. They believe they are really bought in. And that has a lot to do with their young leader in Joe Burrow and the fact that everybody's kind of ride or die with him and his swagger and his moxie and whatever he brings to the party. It's cool to cheer for somebody like that. I'm an SEC girl. I went to the University of Florida. Can't say, I'm obsessed with LSU. No, I am. I love what the SEC brings and how those athletes are usually ready to go for prime time and the pros. And he certainly is one of those guys. And then, the Rams, they've been all in since they decided to sign Matthew Stafford last summer. And then, of course, them bringing in Odell and Vaughn and everybody else to go along with it. It's really cool. And we're in Hollywood, and let's see if they get their Hollywood ending.
I love that. And I regret to tell you, actually, I am an LSU alum. Go
I love LSU. Listen, I'm A2FA. You guys know how to tailgate like no other. What do I tell people? Where do you want to go see a college football game? You want to go to an 8 p.m. LSU Saturday night game because you guys have been marinating out in that parking lot for 3 days. You guys are shaking, opposing teams' buses, getting everybody pumped up. LSU to me is like the Yankee Stadium, that or Alabama.
Yeah, well, and we have a live tiger, so how do you compete with
Mike, right?
Yeah. But yeah, so
have you checked out our LSU wear gear? You got to check it out. We have your school. It's really cute.
Oh, I will. I've been checking out your brand. I'll definitely get some LSU gear. Thank you.
Absolutely.
But I know you have to be impartial, but why would you like to see the Rams win and why would you like to see the Bengals win?
Well, selfishly, I'd like to see the Rams win because I live in Los Angeles, and I'd like everybody to get on board out here. I'm friends with a lot of those guys on that team. Aaron Donald, gosh, he's going to be one of the greatest to ever play his position as well. And he stated that's the one thing I need. That's what I want. I don't have a Super Bowl ring. I think that'd be really cool. And then for Cincinnati, my gosh, it was so neat to see all those fans out there going nuts. We have a buddy at Fox that we work closely with. And, somebody said the other day, like, you wear your Cincinnati hat now. And everybody's like, okay, Bengals. But before it's like, that's the hat you're wearing today? Really, pal? It's just cool. It's so exciting for fan bases that haven't had the chance to experience this or taste it. Really special for them.
Yeah, definitely. And I know, of course, it would mean a lot, but yeah, as we see with Bengals fans, I think they're just rabid to get that Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
So I know Tom Brady has retired in this offseason, which is huge news. And you began your broadcasting career in 2000. That was the same year he was drafted. So what's it like to see someone retire who's been a mainstay of your career?
It's a bummer. I've been really vocal about that. I didn't want it to happen. I mean, everybody is like, all right, let's move on, but no, I like having him around. It's really fun. Also, too, I mean, I haven't said this anywhere, but he's 44. I'm 43. Do you know how badass that is to cheer on somebody that makes mid 40s look so good and so fresh? Good for you. Like, don't leave. Come on. Like, he's my inspiration. It's like, I'm older in the industry. People are like, oh, how long do you want to be doing this? What do you mean? Tom Brady's 44 winning Super Bowls. Let's go. It's another reason why I don't want him to leave.
Yeah, you guys have been doing this together this whole time, and you just kind of...
Tom, enough about you, more about me. Let's do this together. What's happening?
I'm a huge Brady fan, so I have to agree very selfishly. I'm just very upset. Of course, I mean, it's beautiful. He wants to be with his family, but like, play football for me, please.
Forever. No one asked me how I was feeling, so.
But I actually did see on your podcast, you were describing the best day of your life. And that's when you were shagging balls for Tom Brady in Montana.
Right.
I know you've known him for such a long time, but did you learn anything new about him that day?
Don't show up at the football field hungover. No, I knew that about him. He's very serious. No, I just listen. I mean, being a friend of his and then watching him compete. on the field, you just don't want to mess up. And even if it's like the easiest and simple thing of lining up footballs for him to throw and running them back to him, you just want to be perfect doing it. It's Tom Brady. Like, you're laying out these footballs. I mean, there were a couple of times I ran and I laid them out and I went and I did a leap in the air because I was like, that was so awesome. And yeah, it was just funny. My dad took video of us that day. It was so cute. He didn't take video of Tom throwing. He took video of my sister and I running around, and we're like, Dad, where's Tom in this video? And my dad's like, well, I wanted to be respectful. And I'm like, Dad, like, it's not like an indoor practice where you're giving away like plays and stuff. Like, we want video of us like being on the field with the GOAT, but that's okay.
That's perfect. So where's the video now?
What video? Of my sister and I? Oh, it's on my phone.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. But you can't see Tom throwing.
No.
Oh, Dad, that's very cute.
It was cute. He was trying to be so respectful. I'm like, he doesn't care, Dad. It's fine.
So it was the best day of his life as well.
My dad, it was pretty cool for my dad. He was actually going to go to the field in a Green Bay Packers shirt. I'm like, Dad, you have to, I mean, what are we doing? You got to change your shirt here. So he did.
It would be really funny if you wore an Ohio State shirt just to see what.
Oh, I actually think that would have ticked off Tom more than the Packers shirt, probably. Yeah.
Maybe next time. But yeah, so, and I like how you mentioned, it's like, oh my gosh, are you actually retiring now? But now Tom, I feel like is wavering a little bit on his podcast. He's all never say never, maybe.
Good. Come back. I'm ready.
And then what does that mean for you? I know you're from the Tampa Bay area.
What is it? That he's like talking about coming back?
Yeah, just the excitement. Obviously you have a relationship with Tom, but if he came back and won another one for Tampa,
he could win another one for anyone. Just again, I'm being selfish. It's fun to cover him. I love conference calls with him. I love seeing how his other teammates react to him. It'd be great. But I mean, listen, as much as I'm going on and on, I respect his decision. I want him to be with his family. I know he has other avenues to explore business-wise. So, forget about that. Just come back. What are you doing? Why are you doing this to me?
So I also know you've said in the past that you have like a huge crush on Gisele, his wife. Mm-hmm. So I was just wondering, with your brand, if she could come and model for your brand, what piece do you think that she would really rock?
Well, she was actually wearing our sweater at the divisional game in her booth, and unfortunately that didn't bring them a lot of luck. But Gisele looks great in anything that she puts on. I unfortunately don't think we have enough in the wear budget to pay her to model our gear. So thankfully she has worn our pieces without any sort of incentive. It's meant a lot to me. I was actually a couple years ago. Maybe it was 2 years ago. Yeah, it was 2 years ago. I was working week 18 of the season, a game at the Giants, and I was doing my first hit and I could feel my phone vibrating, and it was her and my girlfriend's daughter FaceTiming me in their wear gear. And then I didn't answer because I was doing a hit, and then they took a picture of it and sent it like FaceTime denied or something. I'm like, guys, like I love you, but I'm working. But then, she was in wear, so it was pretty cool.
Oh, that's amazing. Sorry, I was like stalking her Instagram, but I love that that she's in wear and everything. And I want to talk to you a little bit more about your brand. So I've seen in the past, and I've been frustrated going in the NFL website, like, why is there only a pink jersey for me? What are these options? So why was it so important for you to start this brand?
Well, I'm a huge sports fan, right? And a lot of that, being a Florida Gator and wanting to wear something new, I felt like really the only thing available was like the stuff that I could wear back in 2000 to 2004 when I was in school. My husband also played for the Los Angeles Kings, and I wanted to wear something, fashionable and fun to wear. So, and like you said, I would go into these pro shops at Christmas time and try to buy them Los Angeles Kings gear. And I just thought to myself, there's not a lot here. I mean, there's not a lot of variation. There's not a lot of styles. So, it was important to offer women pieces, maybe staples in their closet, like what I have on right now. It kind of could be a fun little ski sweater or an everyday little turtleneck vibe. And we've got these in all team colors and team names and so forth, or like our cable knit sweaters and things like that. I wanted to give people options and varieties and something that they could wear anywhere and everywhere to cheer on their team. Like you could wear this. It's not Super Bowl Sunday, but I feel cool enough to wear it around, town on Wednesday. So yeah, just something where they didn't look like a super fan when they wore it. We wanted to give them fashionable options.
I love what you're wearing. I think that's perfect
Thanks.
for broadcasters.
Appreciate it. Have a cute little patch here on the side. It's black, so I've got some of my golden retriever hair connected to it. It's awesome.
No, but yeah, it's perfect.
Yo.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask too, I know that you've talked about expanding. Obviously, NHL has a special place in your heart, so you'd love to see that expand and everything. Are there any other directions that you'd like to take the brand, maybe other sports you'd like to branch into and women's?
Yeah, we may have an announcement coming up in the next couple weeks of another league that we're going to be carrying. I'll give you a strike one, strike two, strike three, maybe. I don't know if you could figure it out. And then I think something that we're really excited to maybe get going or maybe talk to stores about is maybe doing an everyday line, a wear everyday line that, yeah, you've got your NFL shirt, you've got your NCAA shirt, but let's talk about what you're going to wear on the bottom, or let's talk about a jacket to wear, like a wear every day, not so much like sports line. So maybe like kind of what I rock in my interviews or on the sidelines and things like that. So that could be a possibility as well. Kid,
yeah. Okay.
Unisex. There's a lot of like sweatshirts that my husband's always like, I want to wear this. I want that. Maybe when we have our baby at some point, we can have a kids line and all of that. So that would be great.
Yeah, I would love to see this brand grow.
Yeah. A dog line.
Yeah. So I do want to ask too, I know like when we think about women's sports and everything, like the WNBA just got this huge deal, 75 million in funding. Do you think that,
Awesome.
part of the culture, part of the thing about supporting women's sports is like creating a culture around it. Do you think that, clothing, people may look on the face like, what can that do? But does that have a powerful role in creating a culture that is inclusive to fans and inclusive to female fans?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think when anybody can kind of like grab or hone into something that's theirs and make it, I mean, you're talking about wardrobe. Look at everybody's talking about what Joe Burrow is wearing to a game, right? I mean, I know when I tune in for those shots as the guys are rolling in with their vibes, NBA guys, I know you said WNBA, but NBA guys, and what in the heck are, some of them wearing and what are they rocking? I tried to up my shoe game because my wear people told me I need to, what do you guys call it? No, sneakers, I get it. But what were you guys calling it? Not my shoe game, but what was I calling it? My fit. I had to work on my fit. So yeah, we've tried to do that with style, but absolutely. I feel like that's a whole thing where people can feel involved or like a part of a group. Yeah.
Yeah, and then just to kind of tie all these things together, like your brand, and I know you were working with CoverGirl and everything, but I guess what's it been like, over your lifetime? What do you think has changed about the space for female fans and female broadcasters, and what has remained the same?
I think what's remained the same is that women who love football are well educated in terms of the sport. They're well educated, they're knowledgeable fans. Like they know what they're talking about. They do. They love the sport. They're not there, because it's a bunch of men running around. They know the sport. They know a 3-4 defense. They know a 4-3. They know cover 2. They know the stuff. And I think maybe what has changed about it all, maybe that the men are accepting that the women know just as much. I think that's pretty cool. For a while it was kind of like, are you just here because you want to be on TV and talk to guys? It's like, oh, you know what you're doing. Yeah, that's changed for the better.
Yeah, that's really exciting to see. And I definitely think in this industry, women always, to an extent, feel oppressed. Like if you're going to call on me or I got to know my stuff.
Absolutely. That's my drive. That's what gets me going.
So we're always extremely knowledgeable, extremely on point and prepared because we're the one who's going to get singled out.
Totally. Yep. Well, because I didn't play, right? So that's my whole thing. I didn't play, so I don't know.
Right. Well, actually, so we just did a story on female footballers. So that opened an entire world for me. I did not know that women played football, and then they have a deal with ESPN2 for tackle.
That's
and then
awesome.
they might play in LA for the Olympics for flat.
That's cool. Yeah, that's really cool. Maybe something we have to get Ware involved in. Really neat.
Ooh, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
So, but I also want to ask, we're talking so much about what we can do to support women, and we all have different roles in this. So what can we do collectively as a culture to make sports more welcoming for journalists, athletes, and fans?
Well, gosh, that's maybe something I'm not really that great with, because journalists, I feel pretty welcomed. I make myself at home with a lot of these these things. I don't know. That's a good one. That's a real thinker there. What could we do? I don't know. I'm proud of what the NFL has done to try to get women more involved. I'm proud what these players are doing to try to get women more involved. I'm proud of how accepting the men are in football to welcome me in to their lives and to their place of work. I really haven't had any complaints with that. So I don't know. That's something we should all think about. Yeah, I don't know.
No, and I think that that's the positive side of it, is that when you do go through these experiences, there are so many people who are welcoming,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
help us get where we are
Yeah.
today. It's been incredible to talk to you. I wish I had thought of the perfect outro to complement the intro, but
Oh, the intro was enough. It's been great. Yeah. Thank you so much.
What do you think? Did we get this one right? Let us know in the comments and subscribe to FanSided for more videos like this one, and look out for the next Clutch Series installment.